Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is
It's Movie Time.
Kevin.
Yes.
It's this Fergoli delusion that gets me.
I was going to send a puppet in my place. Have a little Muppet do the review for me.
It's Charlie Kaufman's new movie, Anomalisa.
Yeah.
And Kevin, do you know anything about this delusion? Because it helped me with the movie, knowing this Fergoli delusion.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know the background.
Okay.
To it. I just went cold.
Okay, so the hotel in the movie is named Fergoli.
Yes.
And the Fergoli delusion is a paranoid delusion about somebody who thinks that all these different people are the same people.
Oh, okay. So it's essentially that's what the movie is.
Right, and that they're out to persecute him.
It's not as paranoid. The movie's not as paranoid as the delusion sounds.
I know it, but doesn't I mean?
But it fits. If
right.
you know that, it really makes sense.
Because in this movie, which is stop motion,
yeah,
and that's what Kev.
That's where they have models and they take one frame at a time and then they move them and they do one frame. You know, so you have to shoot 24 frames for every second.
So I hear, and now you may have told me,
Yeah.
2 seconds a day for 2 years.
I didn't use that. I didn't tell you that, but that sounds accurate.
Oh my gosh!
Sounds accurate.
So, and for those who are looking at our video and might be able to see this, you can see the human hand on the puppet to give you some perspective as to how small they are. It's so cute.
Well, and normally, I mean, stop motion is sort of a lost art in a lot of ways. I mean, you used to see it a lot with the Rankin Bass specials, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And now when you see it, it's usually something like Leica, who did the Box Trolls and Coraline, or Aardman, who did like Chicken Run and Shaun the Sheep movie.
Kevin, you are such a geek.
I love animation.
Oh, right.
I love animation.
And so this co-director, Duke Young, was apparently an expert at this, which is why he's co-directing with Charlie Kaufman.
Yes. I guess Young did the technical side and Kaufman did the depressing, bizarre side.
So we're going to try to do a show on Charlie Kaufman for Cinema Classics.
Oh, wow.
I know it. And
take your Prozac before that.
What is it, Being John Malkovich is his most
brilliant.
famous?
Yeah. Being John Malkovich and Turtle Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Right.
And then he did, those are ones he wrote. And the other one, actually my favorite, although it's right up there with Malkovich's adaptation with Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Because the one thing you can say about Kaufman is you always get something unique.
Yes.
You do not get a normal, even if it's concepts that's been used before, like Eternal Sunshine, it's presented in the weirdest way. And it was only when he did Schenectady, New York, that he started directing them himself.
Yes.
And they got weirder.
Yes. And that's a strange one. Yeah. But I'd like to go back to his movies are ones I'd like to go back to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're challenging enough. Now, this one, however, seems simpler than most.
Yeah.
You have a motivational speaker for, what is it, for customer...
Just customer service, how to be the best. And he's the most boring guy in the world.
And he's the best. He's renowned. And a kind of guru.
He's got groupies.
He does. So his world is filled with puppets, as he is. Yeah. And they all look very similar, if not the same, except for...
One woman named Lisa.
Yeah, and therefore the title Anomalisa. She's an anomaly.
Yeah,
Anomalisa, and voiced by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who's having a big year.
She has a big year. In 2 movies she sang in. She sang in this one and in The Hateful Eight. Both of them she had a featured solo.
So she's the anomaly for him.
Yeah.
I mean, in that paranoid sense, he's looking around. He's finding no satisfaction. And he has a kind of lost in translation day, visiting another town, and he's
it's Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati.
It's not Tokyo. I mean, it's slightly less
good one.
out
Yes,
there.
Yes. So it could be. You mean he could be depressed?
I think so. Well, this speaks to the mundanity of life. You know, just how humdrum and how you can just get stuck in this rut, even if you're like perceived as like the great, which is probably very, self he's probably writing about himself because everyone's like, oh, it's cool, you're in Hollywood and it's excited,
right.
And he's like, no, my life is depressing.
And it really, the first, many minutes of the film are simply him getting off a plane. He had somebody obnoxious next to him, I think, in a plane. Then he has a cab. He has this cabbie who runs his mouth.
Well, they're not. But what's funny is they're not obnoxious, and they're not like mean obnoxious. They talk too much. They annoy you.
You're right. You're right. Exactly. They're kind of banal.
Yeah.
And he doesn't roll his eyes, but you can just tell he's trying to get through this.
There's a lot of sighs.
There is. Until he meets this little lady, Lisa, and something hits him about her. Something special.
Yeah.
And I believe he falls in love. Now he has a wife and child.
Yes.
So this is a difficult matter for him.
Yeah.
But he apparently it sparked something there with her.
Well, but I mean, the whole movie is him struggling with past relationships as well, because he's got his wife who is estranged at that. They're still married, but it's estranged.
Okay.
And he's got he'd gone to, when he was in Cincinnati, he's thinking about meeting up with somebody he'd had a relationship with in the past.
That's right.
And that ended on a sour note. So his entire life is failed relationships. And here's one that's bright and shiny and new. But the thing that's interesting about her is from the regular person's perspective, there's nothing special about her.
She's really kind of dorky.
She's kind of dorky and lame.
And her girlfriend, who was more of a bombshell.
Yeah.
And she's sure that Charlie would like her. Yeah. And he doesn't. He rather likes Lisa.
She's different.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because everyone. The other thing they do in this movie is Tom Noonan. The actor Tom Noonan does the voices for everybody else.
That's right.
Everyone from the guy in the cab to the hotel clerk to his daughter and his wife. It's all the same person's voice. And again, that shows him just in that rut, in that depressed rut. And here's somebody who's different.
Yes.
And I think it speaks not just to mundaneness of life, but mundaneness of relationships. It's why people have affairs, why people will stray, because they're bored with what's going on. They're bored with who they're dealing with. And then here's somebody who's not necessarily amazing, but just different.
Yeah. Now, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is the only puppet sex scene I remember, but I'll bet you know.
There was a Team America World Police. I was going to say this is the most graphic puppet movie since Team America World Police. It's got a major release, but this is the only one that's been nominated for a Best Animation Award.
All right. Oh gosh. So I guess what we're saying about Anomalisa is that it's a strange movie, but an affecting one. Would you say? I mean, how would you tell somebody to go see this? Why would they want to see this?
Anything from Charlie Kaufman, I would say you'd see because it's different.
Yes.
And it's new, and that's it's this weird sort of life imitating art where the real appeal to this movie is that it's unlike anything else. And that's what makes it stand out against everything. I was very excited to see it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
But I still think it's totally worth seeing.
And picking up on your unlike anything else, underneath it, it's very much like everything we live.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's to me, it hits right to say, yeah, I've been in a town. I've been bored. There have been times in my life that weren't as high as I'd like it to be. There have been loves I've been estranged from. There are things in this that are really strike home in a very, I think you opened it up in a very mundane way.
Yeah.
And what he does is magic, and the very fact that these are puppet-like, and if you take a look at how the pain that they take just to make each movement of the puppet, you have to be in awe of the filmmaking and then of the effect it has by being puppets, and of this guy this guru of his customer care.
Well, and what's so bizarre about that level of worship that goes on with him, everyone loves this guy. And there's a brilliant scene where he goes to either the management or the people who run the hotel. He's kind of in the basement, and again, everyone thinks he's the greatest thing ever. And I've done things where I've gone on the road and I've been to a hotel after,
Right.
and it seems glamorous, but it's not. I mean, it's just, yeah, all hotels are kind of the same.
Oh,
You have a
isn't
really
it?
nice one?
Isn't that so perfect? This room he has, which is very nicely appointed,
Yeah.
is really just like every other hotel room he's ever been in.
Yeah. The only time a hotel room stands out is when it's terrible. And then there's a scene. It paid particular attention to the scene when he's downstairs. He has to drive this golf cart to go talk to this guy, and there's this giant hole in the ground.
Oh, right.
That he has to man. And there's symbolism and everything to that of why he had this giant pit, that you can't get around, just to go talk to somebody that doesn't do anything for you.
So go figure that out.
It's so defeatist. It's such a defeatist movie.
Kevin, is it possible for you to award a grade 2? Anomalisa, directed by Charlie Kaufman and Duke Young.
I think I can. I'm going to give it an A-.
Oh, Kevin, I'm giving it the same.